everybody. Welcome back to Doc Sports NFL Prop Madness. Well, maybe we'll trickle in some NBA props next week, along with the NFL props. We'll keep the show going 12 months a year. It's all treats and no tricks, as you see the festive background we have here, courtesy of Detroit Lenny in the background. He's all fired up about making us look all festive for the Halloween. And so see if we can put a few treats in your bag, so to speak, here, Nick, this week in the NFL. Breaking news before we get to the show. Just wanted everybody to know I love seeing people around me succeed. And Nick Menken's 8-unit NFL Game of the Year goes this Sunday. So those of you interested in sides and totals, Nick, you got a big one this weekend.
Yeah, it's a really big one. I feel real good about it here. Don't want to get too much into the play. I'll let you guys kind of read my breakdown. It shows everything on why I'm taking this play. I absolutely love it, and looking forward to it, Tony. We'll see how it goes.
Well, you can subsidize that income with some prop plays we're going to give you for free, and I'm going to start out the show with what I feel is a very under-the-radar tight end in the league, and that's Ty Warren. He's done a hell of a job for the Colts. Kid out of, I believe, Penn State. He's a rookie, if I'm not mistaken. He is a rookie. He had a touchdown in every game from September 28th till last week against the Titans, of all people. He didn't get a touchdown. I think everybody else did. But nonetheless, for him to get a touchdown in this game against the Steelers, by the way, this is an offensive showcase. The Steelers and the Colts game. That's the total's 50. I'm going to tell you, here's a free lean. Take the over. But at the end of the day here, I think this is going to be a shootout. I think that Pittman's going to have a big day at wide receiver. I think DK Metcalf will have a big day at wide receiver. But I think Ty Warren getting a touchdown plus 140 off an 0 for last week, but the previous 5 weeks a touchdown. One of Danny Dimes' favorite targets in the red zone. Give me Ty Warren at plus 140, a nice little pizza money bet for you this week. What do you got, Nick?
Yeah, let's go to the NFC North here. We got a showdown. We got the Minnesota Vikings headed to Detroit to face the Lions here, and the line is -8.5 for the Detroit Lions, and rightfully so. The player I'm looking at is going to be Gibbs in this one, and I'm going over 72.5 rushing yards in Gibbs' home games. In all
That's my next pick. That's my next pick.
Well, it's a 2-for-1 here, so bang, bang.
You explain it. You explain it, but this a double. This is a full 1-unit play now, folks.
I'll let Tony put the icing on the cake in this one, but Gibbs, in all 3 of his home games this year, he has hit this line. He is averaging 107 yards here in Detroit, and now he faces a Vikings defense who is bad on the defensive front, especially stopping the run game. They're 24th in rushing yards allowed, and they're 31st in rushing attempts allowed here. Gibbs is going to be a huge part of the Detroit Lions' success here against the Vikings. In both games last year, you look what he did against the Vikings. Well, he went over 100 yards in both of those games. And for this Minnesota Vikings team, each running back over the last 6 games have cleared 99-plus yards. 4 out of those 6 games here, Gibbs is going to have himself an absolute game. When Gibbs has 14-plus carries here, he has hit this line 7 out of his last 8 games. I'm expecting Gibbs to get a ton of carries over that 14 here. I love his over 72.5 rushing yards. Tony put the icing on the cake for this one.
Minnesota gives up 150 yards per game on the road against running backs. That's it. Gibbs is one of the best in the league. I know people might be a little concerned about, the amount of touches because they got Montgomery back there too. Montgomery's going to have a good day. Anybody has a good day against Minnesota, and you're probably going to see a lot of running the ball and a lot of opportunities because I believe that Minnesota is probably going to have some 3-and-outs with McCarthy at quarterback here. He started 2 games. He's had 1 good quarter, and that was against the Bears. and it wasn't even that good through the opening game of the season. And 94, 91, and 136 at home his last 3 home games, Gibbs on the ground. So that is a double dip, ladies and gentlemen. That is that's like getting $200,000 candy bars in the bag instead of 1. Trick or treat. There you go. All you got to do is knock on me and Nick's door. We got handouts. There you go. Be sure and get over to DocSports.com this weekend. Prop cards are $25. We'll park $60 in any new account, and it comes with a profit guarantee and 0 hassles. There's a link in the description below the video, or you can read about it right underneath there. There's the link right there. Or just on the website, DocSports.com, there's a tab in the upper left-hand corner. We'll park $60 in any new account. So be sure and get over there and get hooked up. I had a winning night on Thursday with my NFL props, went 2-1 on a flat bet card. And that's usually what I do, although I may have a top pick on Sunday. I like one prop. I'm just hoping, it's Friday when we're taping this. These are Friday numbers. If this number is still within a yard or two of where it's at right now, we may make a 7 uni on a 3 or 4 pack for you on Sunday. So be sure and get over there, check that out. Check out Nick's package along with his game of the year. Let's stick with tight ends. I'm going to a tight end theme today. Guess what team in the NFL has allowed the least amount of yards receiving to tight ends this year? I bet you can't, but I'll tell you who it is. And somebody I'm pissed off at right now, the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons have allowed a total in 7 games of 105 yards to tight ends. That's unbelievable. To give you an example, the Miami Dolphins who played last night, they've given up 650. So that just gives you of how good that really is. Hunter Henry, Patriots, under 34.5. He's only getting a 4% target rate on first reads as well from Drake May. I like him under his total of 34.5 receiving yards. Hunter Henry from the New England Patriots. Talk to me, Nick.
Yeah, let's stay in this same game, the Falcons and the Patriots. I'm looking at Bijan Robinson this week after last week's performance. He was non-existent, and I'm looking at his over 35.5 receiving yards in this one. We know that they're coming off that brutal performance against Miami there. And now, this week, it's a lot different here. And if the Falcons have success, it's because of Bijan Robinson. You need to have him in this offense. And I believe Michael Penix will be back at the quarterback position this week. So that's going to be a big implication here. In the New England Patriots covering running backs, worst in the league here, folks. I think Bijan Robinson has a massive day, not only on the ground in his rushing game, but I think he has a big game through the passing game because they cannot cover running backs, let alone Bijan Robinson out of the backfield, who is probably, if not the best running back here, dual threat in National Football League. So give me the over here in his receiving yards. I like that 35.5. It's sitting at a -110 line here, Tony. I like Bijan in the passing game this week.
Atlanta, NFL game of the year last week for me. What the frick was that? And then Miami reverts back to its old self. Although their defense held Baltimore in the first half to 109 yards, so they played better the last couple of weeks. It came out today from the owner of the Miami Dolphins that McDaniel is there through the end of the season. No threat of losing his job. Even after that loss last night, they had just a comedy of errors. They could have won that game, actually, turning it over and a debacle on a 4th down deal. Just unbelievable how bad. But that wasn't the team that showed up against Atlanta, and I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with Atlanta. They got all the talent in the world. Yeah, Kirk Cousins, but Cousins really didn't hurt them. Their offense just got shut down. And, Nick, I got to tell you something. I know we're a prop show here, but I will tell you something. the New England Patriots and May at quarterback are for real. They are playing out of their minds right now.
100%. No, 100%. And it's very unexpected, I would say, coming into this season. Obviously, Mike Vrabel, new head coach and a new system, but they're believing in Mike Vrabel and what he's doing here as the Patriots head coach. And, a lot stems from Drake May and his ability to make those plays and get the ball off quick. So you got to tip your cap to these New England Patriots. But, we'll see what they do against the Falcons here. That open line was what, -3.5. It jumped up all the way to 5.5 now. So, they should take care of business here at home, but this is a game, we'll see what they're made of.
Yeah, definitely. I again, I think one of the better games for the props is probably going to be for offensive props this week, and I'd dig into it a little deeper if you folks wanted to. I definitely think you ought to take a look at that Colts and Steelers game. That's an interesting line. We're going to find out if the Colts are for real. But nonetheless, I had 3 picks, and you stole my Jamar Gibbs picks. And
I got one more for you. I got one more.
Okay.
I got one more. It's
in this game here, I just want to tell you, take a look at Gray. Take a look at Gray over on receptions at 1.5. It's a plus number. The tight end. They're going to cover Kelsey in this game. Kelsey's killed him in the past. I think John Gray's going to get some looks in this game. His prop is 1.5 receptions. I'd play that over. Next.
Let's see what you think about this one, Tony. It's your boys, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. I got James Cook, and I got him on the under this week, under 76.5 rushing yards. And historically, Cook hasn't been as dominant nor put up his projected numbers on the Kansas City Chiefs defense over the past couple years here. Kansas City Chiefs, they're 8th right now in run success rate here. They stopped the run very good. I don't believe Cook is going to have any explosive runs here. He'll get carries, but I don't think he's going to get many yards. He'll be utilized, no question about it here, but I just think this is going to be a shootout in the second half that's going to limit the amount of carries here for James Cook. So I like his under yardage this week against a good Kansas City Chiefs defensive line here. Tony, what are your thoughts?
I think Kansas City right now is the better team in the game because they have the better defense. They're number 3 overall in yards allowed. Everybody's touting the over in this game. Everybody I've seen, 52.5. I took the under in the Gridiron Six-Pack show because I think both teams are going to have limited success. At least Buffalo is going to have limited success against his Chiefs defense. And I'm not a homer here. I'm looking at numbers. The reason Kansas City is where they're at right now, and the reason Kansas City was in the Super Bowl last year was their defense. It wasn't their offense. Their offense was broken all last year. They won a lot of really close one-score games, as we all know. They haven't looked really good until recently offensively. But now they've got 3 wide receivers that can start for anybody in the league. And Brown, Worthy, and Rice, 2 tight ends. Don't discount John Gray. He's going to be the guy next year when Kelsey retires. I bet Kelsey retires this year. If my girlfriend was worth $4.3 billion, I'd retire. But nonetheless, and also 1-2 punch at running back. And I heard Pacheco was 50-50 for this game. I read that somewhere. I haven't been able to confirm that on Friday, but if he is, Hunt is not an explosive runner. He's just a north and south banger, so it's going to be interesting. I would not be a bit surprised to see Josh Allen have more rushing yards than Cook. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see that. FYI for that prop, he's Nick Menken right there. Young cat, big play on Sunday in the NFL. He'll have a prop card for you. I'll have a prop card for you. Tons of free plays right here on Doc Sports YouTube channel. Don't forget about the $360. It's been scrolling underneath the screen the entire show. We'll park it in any new account. Comes with a profit guarantee. Find yourself a bag full of treats over at DocSports.com this weekend. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back at you next Friday.